What do you think came first, Mother's Day or Father's Day?
Oh, I say Mother's Day.
Yeah, it was Mother's Day.
Yeah, I can see that. I'll just shut my mouth.
Why could you see that?
Mothers are amazing. And they have every right to be celebrated before men.
Welcome back to the Maeband podcast. I'm Holly.
And I'm Bryan.
And today we have something super special for Mother's Day.
When's that?
Huh?
When is Mother's Day?
You don't know when Mother's Day is?
I'm guessing in the next couple of weeks, right?
It's on Sunday.
This Sunday?
Yeah, the 14th.
Gosh. Wow, that's that crept
May
up.
14th, yeah.
Well, happy Mother's Day in case I forget.
We literally did just like 2 YouTube videos about Mother's Day, so you should know it's coming up.
I thought we were ahead, getting ahead. Well, happy Mother's Day.
Oh, thank you. So first, I found out something like super interesting about Mother's Day.
Did you?
Yes, I did. Okay, it's about how it came to be.
Oh,
do you know how it came to be? I'm
guessing there was like a gaggle of women.
A gaggle?
I don't know. I have no idea. I probably should just keep my mouth shut. I don't know.
But what, Bryan?
There was probably some women that wanted to be celebrated. So that's what happened.
When do you think it happened?
1943.
Okay. So it was close? One woman. It was a woman named Anna Jarvis, right? Okay. Her mom died and she really wanted to celebrate moms. She wanted to honor moms and the sacrifices that moms make for their children. Okay. So in 1908. 1908, she organized the first Mother's Day. And then she wrote like letters to newspapers and politicians and like wanted it to become an official holiday. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. But this is where it gets interesting. So they made it an official holiday in 1914. And then it became commercialized.
Yeah. Like everything else.
Every holiday,
like literally everything else.
So then she started like opening like lawsuits. And then she got arrested for disturbing the peace.
To sue who? Like she was, what do you mean?
Like she was
suing
like
people?
Suing these companies.
For commercializing it? Hey, I created something and you can't enjoy it.
She didn't want it to be commercialized. So she like started suing him. And like she got arrested for disturbing the peace. And then she even attacked Eleanor Roosevelt. because she like used the holiday to raise money for a charity. And like it pissed her off.
Yeah, it's understandable. She's a politician. Well, a politician's wife. So she probably. But yeah, I don't think you can prevent people from celebrating a holiday that you don't see fit.
Yeah.
I didn't mean for it to be celebrated this way.
So then after all that, then she started like writing and lobbying government to remove it from the calendar.
Oh, wow. Gee, bitter old woman.
I thought
that's
was
crazy.
Like, yeah, right?
Wow.
Like,
and then they denied it?
Yeah, then they just ignored her. And
well, I mean, hats off to her. She wanted it done the way she wanted it. I mean, that's cool, I guess. But I don't think you can like force people to celebrate it the way you want it to be celebrated. So just let people enjoy their life. Let them celebrate how they want.
I know. Like, and she was like, she was trying to like stress it that it was like singular, like it was Mother's Day, like not S apostrophe, but apostrophe S. Like she was very stressful that it was like celebrating like individual mothers and like the sacrifices they make.
I can see that.
And then she got like,
understandable.
She was mad about like the card giving and like the flower. Like she was mad about all the gifts surrounding it. She must that must not have been her love language. Gifts must not have been her love language.
So what was it then? It doesn't sound like she has a love language. She's just mad at everything.
Maybe it was just like words or acts of service.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. That's kind of funny. No, I had no idea.
Yeah. And what do you think came first, Mother's Day or Father's Day?
Oh, I say Mother's Day.
Yeah, it was Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Father's Day actually didn't come until like 58 years after Mother's Day. Yeah. Like it didn't officially become on the calendar. So I thought that was kind of crazy too.
Looks like, I don't know. Yeah, I can see that. I'll just shut my mouth.
Why could you see that? Let's hear.
No, I'm just saying. I get it because I feel like mothers are amazing. And they have every right to be celebrated before men.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah. No, I honestly was going to say something like, I just feel like men, especially from what that would have been the 60s that it was created, Father's Day.
It was 1972.
72. So yeah, I just feel like Father's Day is probably just, I don't think men like celebrate each other, right? That's just, that's what they do. They go and provide for the family, and that's just what they do. I feel like I could totally get Mother's Day because I feel like women are more open to celebrating each other.
That's interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's true. Like men
women
are just like, shut up and go do your stuff.
Women are kind of like natural cheerleaders for each other. Well, I don't know. I mean, do you think of sports?
Well, guys,
men go and like
slap each other on the butt. That's just
that's just what
I really just got to keep my mouth shut the whole day. But yeah, no, it was, I guess, men celebrate each other in sports, but I don't know. I would just say as a whole, I don't think men typically want to celebrate each other.
Like maybe they celebrate each other in different things.
Maybe.
Like in like
oh, your hot wife's hot. Like they're celebrating each other that way. Like, good job. Congratulations. You scored. They
celebrate each other in like sports, but maybe not like life things.
Yeah.
Maybe not like.
Yeah, that's what I said. I feel like men are more just like, hey, this is what we're supposed to do. We're just going to go do it. And women are probably more prone to celebrate each other. I don't know. I'll just end it there. That's what I think.
You just end it there.
Case closed. Okay. I like it.
All right.
I'm glad there's a Mother's Day. I think it's fun. I think it's fun to celebrate moms.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not great at it, but you get a day off, right? We give you a day off of being a mom, and that's kind of ironic, huh? Celebrating mothers, what the mother really wants is to not be a mother.
Yeah,
that day.
It's so true.
It's just like, happy Mother's Day. I'm not a mother today.
It's so true.
Yeah.
That's definitely true.
Yeah.
lock me in my room all day.
Yeah.
And don't let me be alone.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me.
We can. Yeah. That's the way we both do it.
And do all the stuff that I normally do, all the cooking and cleaning. I was gonna say
the cooking. All right.
I was waiting for that reaction.
Yeah, well, you had me confused. I'm like, you do clean the most out of everybody, but like when you said cooking, I was a little like taken back. Like, wait, we eat here?
Yeah. Okay.
Cool story though. I like it.
Yeah, it was a cool story. So anyway, today we're going to talk about like moms and how it's kind of changed over the years. It's actually changed quite a bit.
What's changed? Mother's Day?
Like moms, just like being a mom and like what it's like being a mom. Like the moms in the 1950s compared to the moms now.
Yeah.
Very different, right? Yep. So we're going to talk about the differences, and are they good or are they bad? I don't know.
Oh.
Let's ponder that question.
Okay, I'm there.
As we talk about it.
I already know my feelings.
So what are your feelings then? Let's hear it.
Well, let's get into it.
Before we get into it, let's hear your feelings.
I think they're both awesome. I like the old school mom where, she makes lunch for the kids and does all the stuff at home. And I also like having a wife that doesn't necessarily do all the mom stuff at home, but she like runs businesses and, is out there and doing cool stuff and super smart. I think it's important to have a smart woman. Mm-hmm. So I think there's good qualities about both. Like, cause my mom was definitely like the type that stays home. And she's like not the provider, what's the word? Like
nurturer?
Nurturer. That's what I was saying. I kept thinking nourisher, but I'm like, that doesn't right. So she was like the nurturer, she would, hey, do you need this? I'll get it. Mm-hmm. And she was always just like waiting on everybody hand and foot. That's for some reason, that's what she liked to do. Mm-hmm. So I see that there's importance behind that and what she does, but I also see there's importance in like what you do. I'm not saying you're not a nurturer, but you're like the go-getter mom that's always like busy, I have to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. And we got to create this and we got to, so I think there's just.
So one thing I think that's interesting, like you bring up your mom and like how she was doing that, but your dad then worked how many jobs?
He worked a couple jobs.
Yeah. And did you ever see him?
No, we never saw my dad.
Okay. So your mom was there all the time.
Yeah.
You saw her all the time. She was like your main caretaker, right?
Yeah.
You never saw your dad.
Yeah.
Because he was just gone all the time.
Always working.
Yeah. Always working.
To provide for the family.
Yeah. To provide for the family. So I don't know.
And I'm guessing to get away from the kids. Probably who knows if he really even had two jobs. I don't know. We didn't live like it.
But like now, like, it's kind of like equal responsibility. Like we both work. We both, do things in the business. We both
do stuff at home.
We both do cooking. We both do cleaning. You definitely do the majority of cooking. Actually, I'd say our daughter does the majority of cooking.
Yeah.
And then like I do the majority of cleaning.
But like with all the kids stuff is split almost like 50-50.
Yeah,
like putting the kids to bed.
Mm-hmm.
That was, I think, traditionally like the mom's job.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to say that, but it was just like a mom puts the kids to bed, you know, all this. But me and Holly, we split it every other night. Mm-hmm. You know, we're like, oh, it's your night. It's your night.
I mean, even diaper changing.
Changing, same thing. Like, it was just whoever had the baby at the time.
Yeah. Like you were totally. So I definitely think fathers are more involved now.
Definitely. I think the whole role system has changed over the last probably 30 years.
Yeah. It has. Longer. And actually what's interesting about that is in the 1950s, about 1 out of 5 mothers with small children worked outside the home.
1 out of 5?
1 out of 5 in the 1950s. Okay. And in
I wouldn't even have thought it would be that high,
yeah,
to be honest with you.
Yeah. It was 1 out of 5. And then in 2008, it was 4 out of 5.
Wow.
4 out of 5 moms worked outside of the home with children between the ages of 6 and 17. So, what do you think changed over that time?
I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what changed. But I do think it's important, whether it is the man or the woman, I do think it is important to have somebody at home with the kids, though. Mm-hmm. Right? Whether, like, I get that both the man and woman want to work, but I think they need to work something out to where somebody's at home with the kids rather than just throwing them in front of the TV.
Hopefully they can.
Yeah, if you can. Obviously, there are circumstances to where you can't, but I was a stay-at-home dad, wasn't I? A couple times, probably. You know, like where you were, like I know right after we graduated.
When I was teaching.
College, you taught and I stayed at home so I could watch the babies, and then we both got jobs and we both had to work outside of the home. Mm-hmm.
And then that was where grandparents came in. I guess that may be our role soon.
Yeah.
We've been watching babies our whole lives, and we'll be watching our kids' babies.
Yeah, but from what I understand, being a grandparent's way better because you could just hand the kid back when they're crying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm told. I don't know.
Hopefully.
Yeah. We'll see.
So I think some of the things that changed are probably like the laws and regulations promoting more equal pay.
Yeah.
Like since then. And also like financially, I don't know if it's like harder to live now, like financially, like we need 2 jobs or maybe we just like spend more. Well, like right now.
Right now. I think everybody in the home needs a job. All the kids, the parents, freaking cats and dogs, whatever. Go out and earn your keep.
Like in the last 20 years. So I think it's more that people spend, like, I don't think from what I understand, they really had credit cards or used credit cards back then.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think we kind of spend more now.
Yeah. We definitely live outside of our means.
Yeah, we live outside of our means. So it's kind of forced.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's probably true.
Yeah. Also
back then it was just like, it was, people didn't have, I mean, you did have credit cards, but it was like you were a rich person if you had like credit cards back in the 80s. I remember thinking that, like, my parents didn't have credit cards up until like the 90s. Then we went bankrupt because of them. But I mean, prior to that, it was just like, if you don't have the money, you don't buy it. That's just the way it was.
Yeah.
And then the credit cards came, and I think it was like the 90s. Everybody started getting plastic, and it was just like, okay, well, mom's got to get a job now because everybody's spending money we don't have.
So now here's another question, right? Mothers these days are spending more time outside of the home than in the past.
Yep.
Okay. So are we spending more or less time with our children?
Probably less. I would say less, but especially because you got the electronics, you know, so it's just like, and I'm guilty as anybody where you just want a little bit of alone time or free time. You're like, hey, here's the iPad, go crazy and just leave me alone for like an hour, just whatever. So I think kids are definitely being raised more on electronics and without parents. Maybe that's why our society is just garbage. Like our culture in the United States is just complete garbage.
It's funny listening to you.
I say this all the time.
It's funny listening to you because I'm going to tell you something that's going to be...
Nah, I'm going to feel stupid.
Make you feel stupid. So mothers actually spend 40% more time with their children than they did in the 1960s.
Wow, that's I wouldn't have thought so.
Yeah. And fathers spend triple the amount of time with their children than they did back then.
So I get that.
Both,
I get that.
Both spend more time.
But I also think there's this factor. I think kids stay at home a lot more than they used to. Mm-hmm. So you're with the parents. Before, like when I was growing up.
You went outside all day.
As soon as I woke up, my parents were like, get out. We would go out and they would say, hey, once it gets dark, come home. And then if you wanted to eat, you would show up maybe for a few for a few minutes.
Yeah.
So my parents, I think that has, because our kids definitely like to be home. We tell them all the time, leave, go out with your friends, go do stuff. I just think kids nowadays want to be home, and with their, I don't want to say with their parents, but ours they like to be with
and
us.
I've also seen like a growth in like the homeschooling like community,
Yeah.
like more and more people, especially since COVID, are homeschooling.
Yep.
So I mean, if you're homeschooling, like that's a lot more time you're spending with your kids.
Yeah,
like,
I think it's overall a good thing. Homeschooling back in the day used to be those weirdos, Like I remember, I knew some homeschoolers in my day. Those were the weird kids, and now all of my kids have been homeschooled. And I think it's more.
That was like your biggest hesitation to. It was. Like when I was like, I think we should homeschool.
Like I knew this one family.
I don't know.
You don't want to be that family. They were a little strange, but I don't think it was because of the homeschooling.
No, I mean, if you look at public school, like there's plenty of weird.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
People in public school.
I know. They used to, I think before everybody was like, oh, what about the social aspect? I think kids can learn that. No matter what, like especially kids that get put into volleyball and basketball and football and lacrosse, they do all sorts of stuff. As long as you just don't let your kids be hermits at home, because I know a few of those, and it doesn't turn out well because you're just like, oh, they don't want to go to school, so we're just going to let them sit at home and literally not leave the house for days at a time. And now, as they're older, you're like, ooh, there's some struggles going on. Don't want to say too much, but you want to, yeah. I'm saying way too. We're just gonna have to delete this whole stupid episode.
So I just thought that was really cool that mothers, like, I just thought that was a super cool fact. Moms and dads are spending more time at home with their families. Like we always are on each other's, not on each other's butts, but I think on our own butts. Like always striving to do more, always trying to be better, and let's give ourselves a pat on the back.
Yeah,
like we're doing great.
I think it's funny. It is funny because I think about that, like how the roles are so different now as dads. Like you go out and you see dads with the kids all the time. Everywhere you go, that's both mom and dads with the kids. When I was younger, like, I had a lot of friends and we would not see their dads. We just didn't, I would show up and I'm like, oh my gosh, is that your dad? I'd know the guy for like 7 years. I'm like, I had no idea. So he was either at work or hiding in the back room, drinking beer and watching TV.
That's true.
And so it was just like, a lot of times you had it's just interesting. Like now.
Yeah. Like I remember my friend's dad, like I was terrified of their dads. Like, ooh, their dads are just because I didn't know who they were. I never
and now
saw them.
They're both just around all the time. So that's cool. That's a good thing. I wouldn't have thought that they'd spend more time, but I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. So we're doing a great job.
Yep.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Good job, mothers out there.
It's well deserved. I love the holiday. We should never get rid of it, even if the lady wanted to. Yeah.
And if you have any thoughts, like tell me if you were surprised, in the comments, like, were you surprised by any of the facts today, or how do you think we're doing? And if you have any more questions or comments, let us know.
Yep.
And thanks for watching Maeband.
See ya.
Bye.